Release the fucking Snyder Cut, baby!
What's that?
Hold on.
I reckon you should show it.
What, you think I should just show it?
Yeah, I think
I
you
mean-
should.
I reckon
Well,
it too.
I mean,
No disagreement here. I have this. I don't know if this is helpful. See that?
So the Snyder Cut of Justice League is finally coming in the year 2021, and I need a few days to recover from that reveal, for sure. I needed a few days, and I finally got around to reading the Hollywood Reporter article about it, in depth, the one entitled, "It Will Be an Entirely New Thing, Zack Snyder's $20 million plus Justice League cut plans revealed." And I think it's only fitting I talk about this Hollywood Reporter article because I've been following this since 2017, every little update, and now that's officially coming. We have the real story about what it's going to be, how it's going to be presented, how much it needs to get done, and whatnot, and what Zack wants to do with it. Now, I'll leave a link to the article in the description of this video so you can go click on it and read it for yourself. Obviously, there's a lot of PR stuff in this. A lot of stuff with Toby Emmerich asking Zack Snyder to come back after the fans got the hashtag trending on November 17th. Toby Emmerich reached out to Zack Snyder, which is hysterical because he's arguably one of the guys that screwed over Zack Snyder. But all that is really in the past right now. All that doesn't really matter because they're committed to releasing the Snyder Cut now. And as we've always predicted, at least on this channel, it looks like it's going to take $20 to $30 million to actually finish it, which is crazy because I remember saying that like back in 2018, and there's probably a video of me saying it as well. In fact, I'll probably tweet it out if I find it. But anyway, here's what Snyder tells the Hollywood Reporter. "It will be an entirely new thing, and especially talking to those who have seen the released movie, a new experience apart from that movie." So Zack Snyder still has to say if he's seen the Justice League that was in theaters, which is hysterical. But yeah, it's going to be completely different. Zack Snyder also says, "You probably saw 1/4 of what I did," which is wild. Wild. Of course, people have broken down the Justice League in theater, and we've seen what's Whedon's and what's Snyder's. And yeah, there's not a lot of Snyder in that movie. It's missing like 3 hours of his footage. So yeah, I can't wait to see that. But this was a interesting thing I thought he said. Snyder says before Emmerich called him, he said, "I always thought it was a thing that in 20 years maybe somebody would do a documentary and I could lend them footage, little snippets of a cut no one has ever seen." So even Zack Snyder wasn't thinking the Snyder Cut was a possibility for a while, at least until November 17th, 2019 came around and it went viral and it got the attention of Warner Brothers. That was definitely the pivotal moment of this whole Snyder Cut campaign, was when it got noticed on that day. And even in this article, it says that Toby Emmerich reached out to Zack Snyder after that specific day. In fact, Zack Snyder also said this, which was also very interesting, that the Release the Snyder Cut hashtag is the most tweeted hashtag about a movie that WB has ever made. But it's also a movie they've never released, said Snyder. It's a weird stat, but it's cool. Which definitely sounds like Zack Snyder. It definitely sounds like him. And that's a very interesting stat, and no wonder WB is pumping money into this and trying to get this released because this is their most talked about movie and it hasn't even been released. Mind you that Warner Brothers puts out like a shit ton of films every year. So the fact that, you know, at least the Snyder Cut got more attention than any other film they've done speaks volumes, and it definitely helped move the ball. And that was the moment they decided to release the Snyder Cut. And if we remember back to that day, I remember everybody was saying that that day, November 17th, was going to be very important to get the Snyder Cut out. And yeah, everybody was right that was saying that. But let's go to the part of the article that talks about how this movie might be presented. Apparently, Deborah and Zack Snyder gave a presentation to the studio and laid out how they wanted to release the Snyder Cut and how they wanted to show it to people and stuff. Specifically, at that screening back in February of this year, Snyder outlined ideas for not just releasing the cut, but the concept of episodes and cliffhangers. So the idea of splitting it up into episodes came from Snyder. And that's might be what this $20 to $30 million is going for, other than the special effects, because Deborah Snyder also says later in this article that this is the perfect time to do the Snyder Cut because visual effects houses rely so much on work from Hollywood are running out of work because of the pandemic and nobody can really work right now. And the Snyder Cut is something they could work on from home and stuff, you know? So special effects for this movie are getting done right now as we speak. And, you know, by the end of this year, all the special effects for this movie are going to be done 100%. And whatever scenes Zack Snyder wants to add, I think he really just wants to add that Martian Manhunter scene, maybe a couple other ones. But I also imagine, since he proposed the idea of episodes and cliffhangers, that maybe he's going to be shooting some cliffhangers to attach to these episodes, and that's how they're going to present it on HBO Max. At least that's what it's looking like from the Hollywood Reporter. That's what it looks like Zack Snyder wants to do with his Snyder Cut. And I've been waiting a long time to read an article like this from the Hollywood Reporter, so it's pretty mind-blowing. I suggest everybody read it from beginning to end. Lots of good details in there. But yeah, as far as like the Toby Emmerich stuff, I'm pretty sure that's all PR. Because of WB, you know, if they really love Zack Snyder, they would have got this thing out a while ago. I mean, they only did it because the fans forced them to, frankly. They would not stop shouting for the Snyder Cut, and we got it. That's what I like to see. That's what I like to see. But what really pushed it over the edge was November 17th, 2019, when the release of Snyder Cut went viral and millions of people saw it. So that's looking like it pushed it way over the top, and that's when things really got going. Even Zack Snyder wasn't really thinking it was going to see the light of day till like 20 years later, but, you know, fans forced the issue, and now it's happening. It's happening. I've been waiting so long to say that it's coming out, and it's coming out 2021. Zack Snyder's going to get $20 to $30 million to finish it. He wants to make it into episodes with cliffhangers. You know, it's fine with me. Any way he wants to present it is fine with me. Personally, for me, I would love to see a 4-hour cut of the movie with all the episodes cut together. Frankly, if Zack Snyder doesn't do that, I'll probably do that for sure. Of course, I'm going to watch it on HBO Max first. But like afterwards, after I see all the episodes, I'm probably going to edit that into one giant film because that's what I want to see. But yeah, it's looking like he's going to take his over 4 hours of footage and split it up into episodes. You know, there was also a time on this channel when I was talking about how Justice League was going to be 2 parts. And, you know, the original release date for the second part was, I think, June 14th, 2019. And knowing Zack Snyder has, you know, over 4 hours of footage for his Snyder Cut, that kind of like makes me think that they possibly were going to split that up into 2 parts, and that was going to be your Justice League Part 1 and 2. But now that we got the streaming service, why not split it up into 6 episodes, into chapters, you know, make it stretch for as long as possible. And then, you know, eventually down the road, maybe a year or 2 after it's been on HBO Max, we can release a Blu-ray copy that smashes all the episodes together into one giant movie. If you watch the Dr. Sleep director's cut, it also has chapters in that movie, which is funny that Zack Snyder wants to do something similar. But right now it's looking like it's going to be an episodic series on HBO Max. It's still a possibility it could be a 4-hour director's cut too, which I would love personally. I definitely would love that, but I'm happy with whatever I get. But yeah, I just had to talk a little bit about this Hollywood Reporter article. I've been waiting forever to see an article like this. And a couple days have passed because, yeah, I had to recover from seeing the announcement for sure. I just had to recover. My mind was blown. And my mind's also blown because that $20 to $30 million number is like the number we've been always hanging around. Like, that's how much it really needs to finish. That's what we've always said. You know, me, Comic Movie Marks, you know, even Garza, he initially said 40 million, but that's not far off from 30 million, right? That's like, it's not that far off. So we all were in the correct range, you know, 20 to 30 million. That's always sounded about right. And that's what it is. They are definitely finishing the special effects right now. We're going to get that Martian Manhunter scene. I can't wait to see what other scenes Zack Snyder wants to do. I imagine he probably wants to do some cliffhangers to make this episodic thing work. But yeah, man, he's got his money. They're committed to it. It's coming out 2021. Toby Emmerich reached out to Zack Snyder because of the fan support that showed up on November 17th, 2019. And now we got it. It's fucking coming. And it's coming in a way that I never expected it would ever come out. I always thought we would be lucky to even see the unfinished special effects version of his Snyder Cut. I thought that was going to be the most we were ever going to get. It's just his rough cut of the Snyder Cut. But since they saw the reach the Snyder Cut has, they're going to actually invest a little bit of money to finish it. Because 20, 30 million, that's nothing for a studio like Warner Brothers. They shit out that kind of money every day. So this is great. Just a great fucking day. A great week. Hope everyone's enjoying it. I know I'm probably the last one to talk about this Hollywood Reporter article, but I just had to talk about it, because I've been following this for so long, reading so many different articles about this, so many different updates about the Snyder Cut. And if you go back through my playlist, the release of Snyder Cut journey, like 70% of the time I'm right, and like the other times like I'm making wild guesses based off like information that I'm seeing, and it turns out not to be true. But in this case, I was pretty dead on about that 20 to 30 million, wasn't I? Pretty dead on about that. But I never expected we would ever see Warner Brothers commit this much to it and finish everything Zack Snyder wants to do for this movie. I never expected that. Never thought that was even a possibility. We all won on this one. And we're going to see Zack Snyder's Justice League in 2021. Hopefully the summer, maybe like June, July. I'm thinking that's going to be like their window. I'm thinking like June 14th would be a nice little date, because I think that was when Justice League Part 2 was supposed to come out in 2019. So might be a little poetic to have it released that day. Or release it on March 25th, the original theatrical release of Batman vs. Superman, right? Whatever they want to do, whenever they want to release it is fine. As long as we get 2021 and they don't push it back anymore. Please, God, let this pandemic end like this month, which is what it's looking like is happening. At least it'll loosen up enough for them to finish the Snyder Cut, right? Oh boy, I can't wait. Anyway, that's it for now, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for always watching. The loyal ones out there that have stuck on this channel from the beginning. We're getting the Snyder Cut. That's what matters now. Now it's a countdown. It's no longer we're waiting for any official word. It's a countdown now. So get your calendars ready and start checking off some boxes, because we are getting closer every day. Anyway, that's it for now. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Especially if we know that Zack was working on this hard for 6 months, and his special effects team probably had a lot done, So why would it take 70 million? Short answer is it wouldn't take 70 million. I think Warner Brothers should invest money into this. They should invest exactly $20 million into Justice League to finish the Snyder Cut.
Y'all little bit of clout tokens. Now it's my turn. Give me my fucking clout. Give me my fucking clout.